trembling to the end of your days that we'll pass this on to the king. And then you'll be sent to the demons of hell for this and your other sins, you whoreson.
Stay close to the others. It's not safe here.
How did you become a knight?
I paid for it. When Malashov was vacated, I bought that fortress. Well, first I negotiated with King Charles for permission. Then it was entered into the land register as my property, and my house became the Knights of Malashov. There were still some legal requirements surrounding it, but I won't bore you with those. But personally, I'm pleased that in the history of our house, it was me who managed to elevate it to the nobility.
You can simply buy a title? Just like that?
Definitely not just like that. But in a certain manner of speaking, you can, yes. It's not at all such an unusual practice among rich burghers nowadays. In Prague, for example, there used to be the Rokycan burgher family, and they bought Okorsh. That's a castle 3 times bigger than Malashov. It may also happen that some commoner lends the king a lot of money, and the king doesn't have the coin to pay back the debt. So he resolves it by pledging one of his castles. Nevertheless, the old nobility, such as Vavak von Hradec, don't like it, and they despise us for it. They see us as upstarts without a proper ancient origin. But I think in a few generations, if I ever marry Rosa off, that is, it won't make any difference anymore. We'll be established among the nobility, and all these injustices will be a thing of the past. I pray that my house will endure, and that my descendants will live to see it.
Well, enjoy your well-deserved spurs. May your house endure and prosper. What's the political situation in the city? I mean the politics of support for our side.
All in all, miserable. Bailiff Plymel is also on Sigismund's side, as is his son, who's so corrupt even Vava could envy him. And I tested the waters among the councillors, but it doesn't look good for us at the moment.
Who sits on the city council?
Wenceslas Forsucher, Jerome Naz, Franz Rosenthal, and Andrew Polner. They're from the old and rich burgher families, just like us. Martin tried to negotiate some support from them, but, as you may have heard, we didn't manage to win anyone over. They either have their interests connected with Sigismund, like Naz and the others, or they just don't want to commit themselves, so they don't lose their property and status. That's the only thing you can count on them for.
But they don't sit alone on the council. What about the others?
They don't. Then there are the representatives of the guilds, but to be honest, they don't have that much power, at least not for now. Compared to the old houses, the guild masters only quite recently acquired their positions on the council, so they probably won't risk losing them. But you're right that we might find support among them, especially by promising more council seats. The thing is, we're not yet in a position to fulfill such a promise, and they're well aware of that.
And what about Vavak? He sits on the council, and we've got him in our pocket, right?
He does, along with other representatives of the Italian court, and they'll do what he tells them. Except maybe Friedrich Kummel, but that doesn't matter. Vavak is a slimy bastard who'll sink us as soon as he gets the chance. So I'd like to count on him only when absolutely necessary, because as soon as he learns something he could exchange for a pardon from Sigismund for the crimes you've uncovered, he'll use it to untie his hands.
Thank you for filling me in on the local situation.
Well, there wasn't much positive in it. But you're welcome.
And what about the church? Couldn't it be turned around? You can see Sedlet's monastery from the city. The abbot must have some influence, doesn't he?
He does. And his relationship with the city is not the best. First of all, the abbot is burning through his property. The monastery is having financial difficulties, and all it can do is sell off its village properties. And who do you think is buying them up? The Kuttenberg burghers, first and foremost. Then there's a long-standing dispute over the manning of some churches, which goes back as far as I can remember.
Well, then how about promising the abbot support and getting him on our side? Promises cost nothing, right?
Ha ha! I see you're no newcomer to politics. But we hesitated with the abbot, and he decided to throw in his lot with Sigismund. In fact, he's given him accommodation, and is wining and dining him.
It's not like he had a lot of choice.
Oh, he did. A lot is permitted by the law of the church, even refusing access to a monarch.
I reckon you're right, Sir Kinslin. I'm glad we took care of Vavat without resorting to weapons. They outnumbered us, and they had heavy armor. I'm not really sure we could have held out against them.
If the worst came to the worst, we'd have had to try. We couldn't have backed out. There was too much at stake. But otherwise, I agree with you. We saved the lives of my soldiers, and maybe even our own. Thank goodness for that. After all, I've already fought my hardest battle, and don't need any more like that.
If I may be so bold, can I ask what the hardest battle you mentioned was?
Not long ago, when Sigismund's army besieged Kuttenberg. Back then, I saw things differently than I do today. I'd been advocating parleying instead of armed resistance. I feared, and rightly so, that Sigismund would use it as an excuse to seize property. But I was in the minority, and even my son Venser was convinced of the opposite. We quarreled a lot over that. In the end, he told me that even though I had acquired noble status, my days of glory had faded. He wanted to prove the Knights of Malashov didn't wear spurs just for show, and that we'd earned the armored arm in our crest. When an opportunity arose to strike against the enemy, he rode out, despite me forbidding it. Or maybe because of it.
What happened next?
More importantly, what happened before? Some French knight appeared from God knows where. He said he was a renowned military leader and a personal friend of King Wenceslas, and that it was his sacred duty to defend the city. I no longer know why or how, but he was appointed commander of the city's defense. One of the first things he did was attack the huge trebuchets that were ruining our fortifications. It seems they were poorly defended, and when the Frenchman was putting together a cavalry unit to counterattack, my Venser joined. Only it was a trap, the oldest and most primitive trick, and our renowned French knight let himself get taken in. Of course, Sigismund, or whoever was in command, didn't leave his precious trebuchets unprotected. He had his own cavalry in reserve. When I learned where Venser had gone, I gathered my men and went to his aid. But when we arrived, it was all over, and there was nothing left for us to do but to collect the bodies of the fallen. Venser among them. So, you heard it. My hardest battle was the one in which I didn't even raise my weapon. But I won't make the same mistake a second time. It won't bring Venser back to me. But I'll defend what he tried to defend to my last breath. Our estates, our honor, and above all, our Rosa. God be with you.
Your father sent me.
So I can tell you how to get to our fortress. A task for the lowest lackey, wouldn't you say? Well, you don't need to answer that.
Right, yeah. That's exactly why he sent me. But how...
What are you staring at? Do you think I was born yesterday? I was listening to you from the top of the stairs. So, this passage, it leads to the cellars, but the outside entrance is hidden underground in a forest, not far from the castle. You can find the exact place if you know where and how to look.
Is it in a cave hidden behind a waterfall?
Well, no. But it would be nice. Listen, nearby Malashov is a stud farm managed by Hashtal, an old friend of Papa's. We had a wayside shrine set up at the crossroads before the stud farm.
A wayside shrine? How do you mean?
Are you a Christian at all? Never mind. It's a big white column. You can't miss it. From the shrine, you should be able to see a group of boulders. Beyond them are the remains of an old chapel. You have to find it, and then there's a kind of... how can I describe it? A window. A gap you can look through.
If it's still standing.
I hope so too. Anyway, it should direct you towards some ruins. Go there. And now pay attention. Somewhere in those ruins is a stone cross. You have to find it and look where its top points to. If you go the way the cross is pointing, you'll find another one, and again follow the direction it's pointing in. That should lead you to a small clearing, marked by a cross in the rocks. You dig there, and you should get to the passageway.
Shit, that's damn complicated.
Of course it is. That's how I designed it. After all, you don't want any old idiot to find the secret passageway to your castle.
True enough. But call me an idiot and explain it to me once more, please.
Maybe in a while. But first we have to discuss something more important. Getting into the castle is the easy part. Don't forget, you have to get out too.
You're right. Horses will be needed. For me and for Capon.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Fortunately, I know how to arrange that. Stop off at the stud farm I told you about, and ask Hashtal for horses.
Where's the cash?
No catch. On the contrary, please tell Hashtal that Papa is still paying for masses for his dead father, as agreed years ago. And even if he's not too keen, tell him we'll pay him for the horses.
You got it well figured out. Thanks. Don't know how I'd manage without you.
You've done plenty to help, and now it's our turn. Papa said something like that, didn't he? You know, you might not be aware of it, but you saved us from a mountain of trouble. Papa would never admit it, but alone, we wouldn't be able to resist the Mint Master for long. You've earned the right to the gratitude and friendship of our house for all time.
Would you like to come with me? At least I'll be sure to find that place.
Would you seriously want me there? What if something were to go wrong? Wouldn't a girl like me be more of a burden to you?
Well, you wouldn't be a burden to me. Quite the opposite. I've already seen you know how to take care of yourself.
Thank you. But I can't go nevertheless. Papa would jump out of his skin if he even heard of such a thing. That's why I would like to ask you for one favor, but you mustn't breathe a word of it to anyone. Understand?
I'm listening.
I wanted to ask you, since you're going to be at Malashov, if you could bring me something from there.
And what might that be?
A book. It has great value to me, and I was starting to worry it would stay there forever. But if you're going there now...
And what book is this that's so important?
It's hard to explain to someone uninitiated in the mysteries of writing.
What do you mean, uninitiated? I happen to know how to read.
Really? Mea culpa. You are full of surprises. So if you do find the book, you'll be able to read it.
Well, yeah. That's the way it goes with books.
In that case, I'm not going to make it easy for you. If you'd like to know why it's so important to me, you'll have to find it first.
Fear not, my lady. I'll gladly tear the entire fortress apart to find that book for you.
Restraint, valiant knight. I value your determination, but this way would give yourself away immediately, and I'd remain without my book. Find it nice and quietly, then come back.
Your wish is my command.
It shouldn't be hard. The book is bound in scarlet leather and inlaid with gold. You won't find many like such there. And take this, so you don't get lost in the fortress.
Thank you.
It is quite possible you won't get back to Malashov again. So don't forget about me. And Henry, be careful.
Careful.
But then I heard him coughing his lungs up in the yard again today.
Not a chance. That old coot will outlive us all.
You silly dog.
Whoa!
Greetings.
What do
Good afternoon.
The Ruthard sent me.
What's that to do with me? Those days when Ruthard was the Lord of Malashoff are over. I don't want to have anything more to do with him, so you can be on your way.
He sends you his regards. And he asked me to remind you that he's still paying for masses for your family, as the two of you agreed.
Sakura. Nobody knows about that but him.
That's why he told me. So you'd be sure I really did come from them, and this isn't a trick.
Well, that changes things. Sorry for being a bit hostile-like, but times are tough. A man can't be sure of anything. Good to hear that Sir Kunzlin still has a few friends left. Give him my greetings, and thank him for still honoring our agreement.
Sure. I'll pass that on to him.
So, tell me, what did the Ruthard send you for?
I'm planning a certain enterprise. Something that the new lord of the castle certainly won't be happy about.
An enterprise, you say? I reckon it's best not to ask what that might be, eh?
That would be wise. And I need you to get fresh, fast horses ready for me.
That's quite a lot you're asking of me. A fresh, fast horse don't come cheap. But fine, since you're from Sir Kunzlin, I'll have it ready for you. Somewhere a bit further from here so I don't get in the shit if things go sideways.
Of course. The last thing I want is to endanger you unnecessarily. And the Ruthards promise to pay for the horse if it comes to any harm.
All right. So look, here next to the stud farm there's a kind of band of rocks below the forest. When you go alongside the rocks to the end, you'll find a wooded copse not far from the castle. There's a well-trodden patch of ground there, so that's where I'll have that horse ready for you. Hopefully, nothing will happen to him if I just leave him there. Recently, there's been wolves and wild dogs sniffing around here, so we have to watch out for the animals.
Thanks. I'm obliged to you.
You ought to be. I wish you the best of luck. I reckon you'll need it.
What's new?
Nothing much if you're looking.
This must be the chapel Rosa was talking about. I'm supposed to look through its arch for some old ruins. Well, let's see. The chapel directed me here. There's no doubt about that. So somewhere around here, I have to find a stone cross, and then go in the direction the top is pointing. A cross in stone. This could be the place Rosa mentioned. I'll grab the spade and see if I'm in the right place. Ugh, a tough job, but it was worth it. The way to Malashov is clear. Now I get it. Those boards were supported by beams to hold the earth above, so there didn't have to be as much of it. Hidden and firm. Really smart. It's a good thing they did it that way too, so I didn't have to dig as much. An axe to deal with the supports and the planks at the entrance. A spade and bucket to clear away fallen earth and free up the entrance. Everything's ready for escape whenever needed. The Roothards really left nothing to chance. Fuck, that's deep. I wouldn't want to fall down there. What do we have here? A ladder? In an escape, it'd be enough to pull it up, and that'd leave any pursuers stuck. Just hope it can hold one attacker. Damn it, that's cold. What's this door doing here? Could it be another of the Ruthards' tricks? But if this beam is dropped onto those cleats, no one would break through in a hurry. I reckon with this, any defenders could hold off their pursuers for quite some time. This will come in handy on the way back. This looks like it could be the wall of the Malashov cellars. There's no going back. This is it. All right then. Courage, Henry. Courage. You can do this. This is going to take a while.
And Ruthard and Liechtenstein are turning the Kuttenberg houses against us.
Bavag will deal with Odard. But Liechtenstein is your concern. How come you haven't caught him yet?
He's slippery as an eel. He's hiding somewhere in the Jewish quarter. I sent spies to track him down, but they never came back.
Flush him out of that hole of his. For fuck's sake!
Why such concern, Otto? Gutenberg is ours. Sigismund has the reins firmly in his hands.
He's got fuck all in his hands. Sigismund thought at first he'd come to terms with his brother Wenceslas, clear the way for him to the imperial throne, and take the Bohemian throne for himself. But Wenceslas couldn't even get off his drunken ass and go to Rome for the coronation. And now, the glorious Hungarian king has fallen for Jobst and his damned truce. He's been taken in by that treacherous turncoat.
Jobst betrayed Wenceslas. Then Sigismund, and now us. He fooled all of us. But what can he really do against us, hmm?
I'll tell you what. While pretending to parley, he incensed the Hungarian nobles against Sigismund.
Surely Sigismund's army can deal with that inconvenience.
Ha! He was paying his Cumans by letting them pillage Bohemia. He set half the people against him in the country he wants to rule. And now, there is nothing left to plunder. While we are shuffling our feet here, Jobst is surely mustering an army.
What are we going to do?
We've got Cabon. That'll keep Hanush and the Lipa people at bay. If they ever want to see their heir alive.
Jobst has Liechtenstein mustering other allies for him. We get him in our grasp, and Jobst will be like a fish out of water in Bohemia.
I'll drag him out of that Jewish den with my own 2 hands. Count on me, sir.
The betrayers of Christ hiding a betrayer. They are rich. All that's needed is a good pretext.
The Kuttenbergers will be quite happy if their debts to those usurers happen to go up in smoke.
Yeah.
You're learning fast, young man.
The gate open.
A horseman, sir!
Hanush is out of the game. The Kuttenbergers are taken care of, and we'll catch Liechtenstein. You'll see, my friend. Good times are coming.
Your Graces, King Sigismund is convening the town council, but first he requests your presence at the Sedlitz monastery, without delay.
What's all the urgency about?
Surely you must know that yourself, sir. The captives fled Trotsky Castle and killed Istvan Toth while escaping.
What? That's not possible. That's a lie.
It is true, Lord Toth is dead.
Who? Speak!
The messenger said something about Cobbler's bastard and some outlaws.
I swear, by everything that is holy, I will find that whoreson, and I will rip out his heart!
Jesus. What's with that boy?
Sir Istvan was like a father to him. We better go. Bring the horses!
Shame about that dog.
Luck was on my side. Now to find Capon and get out of here.
And he took a small escort with him. So the garrison is slightly weakened now. So, be extra alert on your watch. If I find anybody slacking off, they'll get the whip.
You got it, Conrad.
Jeffel, I'll send Hyman to the gate. You'll be in charge of the southern and eastern fortifications.
All right, Conrad. I'll get right on it.
Franz, run along back to the guardhouse and get some sleep so you don't fall asleep during the night watch.
Aye, don't worry.
The rest of you know your orders. You'll be sorry if you don't. Dismissed. Don't drink.
Wait!
I don't know you. You definitely are not from the garrison. I'm going for the guard.
Look here. If you don't tell anybody about me, I'll pay you well.
No amount of coin is worth getting into Lord Burgo's bad books.
Well, you must have children. A son or a daughter. Think about them.
I do have children, but they're all grown up.
Well, they could still use the groschen, though, right? Lots of groschen.
How much is lots?
You won't be sorry.
Well, that really is a pile of coin.
It is. But it's not yours just yet. There's a lord imprisoned in the fortress, Hans Capon. How can I get to him?
But you didn't say anything about that before.
I'm telling you now. You're in this with me, like it or not. Think of your children.
He's in the tower, on the highest floor. Here, the keys from the fortress and his room. Take them and go. Go, go, go!
Enemy in the fortress! Sound the alarm!
What the hell is going on here? Are you trying to cover up a murder, you bastard?
Supposed to be keeping watch or polishing the armor somewhere?
Conrad sent us to keep watch here.
I think you're just holing up here. I'll ask him first thing tomorrow and see what he tells me.
Wait, Mum. We're on Conrad's blacklist, and ever since he yelled at you last time, I reckon you are too. So what do you say we help each other out a bit here? We'll hole up a bit downstairs, and you won't say anything to the captain about it.
Have no fear. We'll just have a little nibble, with your kind permission.
And we'll be as quiet as mice in the hall. We won't disturb you, trust me.
I hope so. Now off with you.
You're a sharp one. You sure know how to deal with her.
I feel a little sorry for her, with nobody taking her seriously around here. She's some third-rate daughter of some lord from who knows where, so she was actually quite lucky that old Otto took a liking to her. The thing is, everybody knows where she comes from and treats her accordingly.
Bloody hell, old Otto? He'd have you whipped for that.
You're right. I better keep our lord out of my mouth.
wait!
What the devil are you doing in my chambers? And at this hour? Guards?
Easy, my lady. Don't be angry. Vincent von Kumberg at your service. I came to see Lord von Berghoff. Unfortunately, we missed each other, but the guard told me you'd take care of me with the kindness you're well known for.
Oh, pardon me, Sir Vincent. Lady Ophelia, pleased to make your acquaintance. Nobody told me you were arriving.
I was originally heading to Kuttenberg, but it was getting dark, so I thought I'd come and surprise Lord von Berghoff.
Well, you certainly surprised me, but I'm sure you must be tired after your journey. Please, follow me.
Thank you. You're too kind. I would like to rest my head for a while.
You're lucky, sir. We just happen to have a free room here for guests, which is all too rare. Sir Otto often has visitors when he's in the castle, which I'm sure comes as no surprise to you. I should also mention that there's a second room on the floor, but please excuse me. Entry there is forbidden to you. It's reserved for, distinguished and long-term guests of Lord Van Berghoff. Here, Sir Vincent. Get some rest. Tomorrow I'll take proper care of you, and you can tell me about your travels. Otto will surely be back in a couple of days. Until then, you'll be my guest. Now, please excuse me. I'm tired and I'm going to lie down. I wish you a good night. It's late, sir. Christ, pardon me.
What is happening? Who are you?
Quiet! If you make a peep, we're done for.
Henry?
Good God, Henry.
What are you doing here?
What do you think I'm doing? Hunting boar? Came to save your noble arse.
My noble arse thanks you. Well, how did you get here?
I'll tell you later. Who's this?
Vauquelin Brabant, Chevalier d'Arezzo. At your service.
Brabant led the defense at Kuttenberg. He's Sigismund's prisoner, same as me.
And I came very close to holding the town. Besides...
But there's no time for chit-chat. He's our ally. We can't leave him behind. Right, no doubt you've got a cunning plan for us to get out of here, right? Well, let's hear it.
Of course I have a plan. Listen, I got to the fortress through a secret passageway that old Ruthard told me about. Von Berghoff knows nothing about it.
C'est magnifique! Very cunning.
And so far, the garrison has no idea I'm here. We're lucky von Berghoff left the fortress along with von Aulitz and some of the garrison. So I'll take you to that passageway, and we'll get out of here. We'll get to the forest not far from here. I have some horses ready there. We'll be gone before you can say the Lord's Prayer.
Formidable! I call that an elegant plan. I myself had to sneak like that once during the siege of Arezzo. So, what are we waiting for? On y va!
Wait.
A passageway, you say? A dark, narrow passageway?
Well, it's just a passageway. There's a bit of water in it to wade through, but nothing we can't handle.
You can forget about it. I'm not going through any passageway.
What?
Let me repeat. No passageway for me. It's not the chivalrous way.
It is not chivalrous, c'est vrai, but in our situation, it is more than delicious.
Fuck chivalry now. That passageway is the only chance we have of getting out of here alive.
Well, in my opinion...
Fuck your opinions. No! Just no! I mean, we'll all suffocate in that passageway. Or it'll fall on our heads.
What's gonna fall on us, damn it? If I got in that way, we can get out, too. It's completely safe. So stop acting like a madman and let's go.
I can't do it. I'm afraid of small, dark spaces. Ever since that tower fell on me in Nabokov, and I was stuck under the ruins, I just can't. I'm sorry, Henry. There has to be another way.
Have you come up with some ingenious plan for getting out of here? If so, I'd really like to hear it.
What do I know? We could maybe break down the gate.
Un moment. Henri? You said that Von Bergov left. Is that not so?
Yes.
And what about horses? Are there any horses left here?
I think there's a couple, yeah. In the lower courtyard.
Très bien. That will be enough. We just have to get to them. But I think we could get there stealthily. It is not far from the tower to the stables. Then you simply open the gate, et voila, we are gone! Just like I escaped when surrounded by that English dog John Oakwood. It may not be the best plan, it was not back then either. But we simply had no other choice. Time has passed, the fortress is quiet. I believe that most of the garrison has gone to sleep, which plays in our favor.
That's a wonderful plan! No passageways! But we need some weapons.
Exactement, to have a proper piece of steel in my hand again. Preferably Milanese, although I would be satisfied with something local. Merci mille fois. Now, I will show them just what a Cavalier Vauquelin Brabant is.
And what do I get? Thanks, Henry. I feel better already.
So, that takes care of the steel. What now?
I'll go ahead and scout it out. When there's a suitable moment, I'll let you know and you can head out.
And how will you let us know?
Well, the stables can be seen from the entrance hall. If you signal us with a torch from next to the horses, we'll head towards you.
Agreed. Good idea. Wait for my light.
But you must be absolutely certain that the way is clear. If you have any doubt, do not risk our lives. Better to come back to us, and we shall go together.
True. And if we don't hear from you or see your signal for a long time, we'll try to make it on our own.
Précisément. We cannot sit here forever.
Right. Got it. I'm off.
Brabant, keep watch by the stairway. I'll go to the window and wait for Henry's signal.
I think it would be better if you watch the stairs.
Why's that?
You are younger. You have better hearing.
Once discovered a dozen English spies. So you can surely handle one stairway.
I discovered them because...
Not yet. First, I have to get Sir Hans to the horses. The horses are here. As soon as it's safe, I should give Capon the signal. Well, that's that. Now I just need to wait for Capon. Lord Jesus Christ, stand by our side.
The gate, Henry. Quick!
I must admit, mes amis, the last time I have had such a suspense was when I was rescuing the King of France. Oui, monsieur, was surely brave, and fortune favors the brave. Free at last!
Thank you for coming for me, Henry. You're a great friend. The best I could wish for.
After today, you may also count me among your friends. I, Vauquelin Brabant, chevalier, aventurier et voyageur. I'm at your service, mon brave Henri. And I have an excellent idea. In your honor, I shall name my new horse after you.
Pleased to meet you, Sir Vacula.
My name is Vauquelin.
Vauquelin?
Vauquelin. Vauquelin.
Vauquelin... would you mind if I just call you Brabant?
Brabant. En.
Brabant?
Que peut-on y faire? It will have to do. Do not concern yourself, mon ami. Clearly, you are not talented in the art of conversation. But at least you have courage and other skills. You carried out the entire operation truly brilliantly. I could not have done it much better myself. And look, mon ami, how the fresh air suits Monsieur Chapon. He has finally stopped drawing in self-pity.
What self-pity, damn it? I was locked up for days in a tiny stinking room.
Ah, come now, mon cher. Luck was simply not on your side for once. That is all. Now we are finally free. The time has come for grand deeds. I did not waste my time in captivity. I fought everything over diligently. Listen.
Please, I'd prefer not to.
What's your plan, Sir Baron?
An heroic deed about which hordes shall one day be composed, similar to my feat in the famous Battle of Arezzo.
Did you distinguish yourself in that battle?
Oui. Oui, mon cher Henri. When all seemed lost, I led a heroically desperate attack that ultimately led us to victory. For that, I was knighted. Opportunities for heroism await everywhere. One just has to seize them. What if we were to journey to Vienne? We could assemble a company and liberate Le Roi Wenceslas.
That would be excellent. If the king were to return, the nobility would definitely support him. Sigismund would have to withdraw.
Précisément! And what is more, our names would be sung throughout the kingdom. Undoubtedly, we would also earn a rich reward too. Then I would invite the best stonemason from France and build Monsieur Chapeau a castle that even Chevalier Hanush would envy.
You must be mad. You've been free less than a day, and you're already thinking up ways to get yourself killed. I'd rather endure Hanush's preaching about my incompetence than listen to this chatter. We'll see what happens next. But the first thing that I need is to get good and drunk. We should spur the horses on. God knows, they might be hot on our heels. Yeah! Christ, wounds. Such destruction and havoc.
War. Monsieur Chapon, you have yet to participate in a real battle. But I fought against les Valaques at Naples, and les Anglais in Bourgogne. And that is how war looks, whether in Italy or La Bohème. It is always the same.
That's not war, it's barbarism. What value did this village have?
Eh bien, I would estimate 5 courtyards. Annual revenues could be perhaps, several hundred groschen.
That's not what I meant, Bakalin. No fortress. Maybe one fortified courtyard. Practically insignificant militarily. That's not how war should be fought. This is unjust.
Do not give way to sentimentality, monsieur. A village could harbor spies and saboteurs or supply the enemy, and destroying enemy assets is an effective tool of war. Wars are not decided only in battles. There are not even many of those. To strike in the rear, make the enemy lose and bleed. That is how most conflicts are fought. However, wait a year or two, the village will be settled. The population will increase again. That is how it always happens.
But we're the nobility. Our task is to lessen the chances of such things happening.
You're right, Hans. We must find allies and put a stop to it as soon as possible, so we can save as much as we can.
Yes, but we failed in Trotsky. And now this is our punishment.
I see that short captivity has turned you into a philosopher, Lord Capon. You should apply to the Faculty of Arts before the muse lifts you again.
Yeah!
I fucked everything up.
Oh, get up, lad. Everyone makes mistakes. Only a better man owns up to them. At least we know now what kind of vermin we're dealing with.
What brings you here? We just escaped from Malashov, and right now...
There's no time for haste. One thing at a time, my boy. Word reached Rat-Eye that you pair got yourselves into a nice mess. I'm glad to see you both in one piece. So, let's hear it. What happened?
It's best if Henry tells you. I wasn't around for half of it.
No sooner had we spied Trotsky on the horizon than everything started to go to hell. We made camp by a pond with the intention of heading for the castle at first light, only we were ambushed by bandits in the evening. They killed all our men and took everything they could carry, including the letter for von Berghoff.
And how did you two manage to get out alive?
Just by a stroke of good luck. We were both in a bad way. We might not have made it if a local herb woman hadn't taken care of us.
Only after that, we couldn't get into the castle, though. We looked like a pair of beggars.
And the bastards treated us as such.
But you did get into Trotsky in the end, didn't you?
Von Berghoff received us and heard us out. It seemed like he was on our side. We even helped him out several times. Until we found out he was just stringing us along. It all came out after we set out with von Berghoff's men to deal with the bandits who were rampaging in his domain. The same ones who attacked us at the start.
Only they ambushed us and took me and Henry captive for ransom.
But it turned out these very outlaws are on our side. They're fighting for King Wenceslas on the orders of Sokol of Lamberg.
Well, I'll be damned.
So von Berghoff has been the real enemy all this time. And Zizka is actually our ally.
Zizka? He's the captain of those outlaws. That name doesn't ring a bell.
I think you'll meet him soon enough.
What impression did he make on you?
He's some impoverished yeoman. But he's handy in a battle, and he helped us when we needed it.
He made quite an impression on me, for one. I'll be happy to see him again. But if only it didn't have to be in Rabosh. Why Rabosh? Of all the places in the world.
We're riding to a gathering of King Wenceslas's supporters. If fortune favors us, the future fate of the kingdom will be decided there.
If we keep standing around here gabbing about it, it'll be decided without us.
Patience, my friend. This pair have just returned from the clutches of the enemy. No doubt they have something to tell us.
Like how in the devil did you manage to escape?
I was helped by the Ruthard family, the former rulers of Malashov, in exchange for dealing with some trouble they had with Ulrich of Raditz.
Ulrich Vavak? But he's the mint master.
Well, he won't be for long, if it comes to light that he's been putting his sticky fingers on the royal silver.
It seems you've been pretty busy.
But don't forget to say what you found out from von Berghoff in Malashov.
Sigismund has convened the city council. Markvart von Aulitz will be there with him, too. The word is, Sigismund is going to make an important announcement there.
He picked a nice time for it. But at least he won't be sticking his nose into what's going on around.
Can we go to Rabosh with you? We could certainly use a drink, a bite to eat, and a comfortable bed.
I wish I could say yes, son, but the city council assembly is a big opportunity. Young Lord Capon will go with us to Rabosh, but you'll have to return to the city right away, and try to worm your way into the town hall.
What? How can I get in there? I can't just walk in off the street.
You've got the dirt on Vavak, and you don't know how to use it? Just tell him either he gets you into the council chamber, or you get him on the gallows.
It's worth a try, right?
I hope that assembly really is important. If Sigismund is just going to announce an increase in taxes, there's not much point in my being there.
Well, at least you can enjoy watching the long faces of the councillors when they hear it. And don't worry, I'll eat and drink in Rabosh on your behalf.
If I come back and find you there under lock and key again, I'll leave you to rot.
Take it. I will go as well, and I will not let your friend out of my sight.
Hans?
Who's this?
Vaclin Brabant, Chevalier d'Arezzo, at your service.
He was a captive of Lord von Bergov's, like me. He defended Kuddenberg against Sigismund.
In that case, he'll be a welcome guest at Rabosh.
You don't know what you're promising, Baron. Watching Sir Hans is a job and a half.
The main thing is to watch out for yourself, Henry. As soon as you can do so without raising suspicion, come and join us.
He'll manage it, but now we really need to hit the road.
Safe travel, Henry.
Adieu et bonne chance.
And to you. Hopefully we'll meet soon. I ought to go and see Rosa when I'm in town. No doubt she'd like to know how it went with that book.